Welcome to Avalon State of the Arts, where we explore different components and dimensions of our school, Avalon School of the Arts, and its music counterpart, the Avalon Music Academy of Holland.
We're your hosts, Rich and Marie, and we look forward to sharing interesting topics about our school in a fun, easy-to-listen-to format.
Because my mom, who founded our school, taught me, if you're not having fun with this, then you're not doing it right. Hello, Avalonians. I hope everyone is having a wonderful beginning of the fall season. It's sure beginning to feel like it, especially in the evenings and nighttime. Days are still just beautiful, but I guess it will be upon us before we know it. So I was thinking about fall music, and it brought me back, nearly 27 years ago when Marie and I first met. We were both working at Butch's Dry Dock, which is a restaurant downtown in Holland on 8th Street. It's still there. And I was having a conversation with Butch, the owner, and we agreed that some of our favorite autumn music were the classic singer-songwriters like, Bob Dylan, Simon and Garfunkel, Tom Waits, The Band. So that's been on my playlist as we get further into the season. It's also a really exciting time for us here at the studio because there's a lot going on. The semester's beginning to take shape. We're in rehearsals for the Nutcracker, which I guess, speaking of seasonal music, is something I never tire of. We've done the Nutcracker, of course, for years, and I always love listening to those huge themes of Tchaikovsky. It's one of my favorite times of year, so I'm looking forward to that also. It's going to be the first weekend in December, so Friday, December 6th at 7 p.m., as well as Saturday, December 7th at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. And of course, that's at Loker's Auditorium in Zeeland. It's a fun family holiday tradition, so please join us for that. And coming right on the heels of that, we have our Christmas music recital series, which is going to be on Sunday, December 8th and Sunday, December 15th at the Park Theater, downtown Holland. And also the drum recitals are going to be on Wednesday, December 18th. So I'm going to be sending sign-up information out to that for families this week. So watch for that. Also, we have a few days left on our fall music promotion, which is the Great Avalon Fall Guitar and Ukulele Giveaway, which is going until Tuesday, October 8th. So let me give you a little background on that because it's kind of interesting. It's my birthday on October 8th, and when I was 13, I got my first guitar for my birthday, and it completely changed my life. It actually shaped my life and in a lot of ways became an identity for me. You know, it was always pretty sweet being the cool kid in school that could play the guitar. And because of that, and because of a lot of other reasons, I feel that music is so fundamentally important to children as they grow up. And anything I can do to help foster that is a calling of mine. So take advantage of this special. And basically when you sign up for a guitar or ukulele, you get a free instrument to get started. So now, our feature for today's show is the Avalon Preschool Dance Program. Hello there, Marie.
Hi, Rich.
How are you this fine day?
I'm great. I had a great day teaching, and it was a really good day.
I had a fun day as well because I got to sub some piano lessons.
Oh.
Which is something I really enjoy.
Subbing in general or subbing piano lessons specifically?
Subbing in general is really fun because I get to meet some of the students and the families that I wouldn't normally see. Yeah. And that's cool. So I get to meet them and do the lesson. And also from the standpoint that it's kind of like being a grandparent. Because, you just get to hear what they're doing and then give them some new fun stuff.
Right. No, I like subbing too, for that same reason too, because sometimes there are kids that I haven't met their parents or I don't know the families very well, so it gives me an opportunity to kind of put a face with a name. So I enjoy that a lot.
And I know that sometimes people can have different sorts of opinions about subs, but I always think it's wonderful just to gain a new perspective or a new angle.
Oh yeah, I say that all the time. I'm always excited to have someone come in and like sub acrobatics classes because they can give the same correction I'm giving but use different words to explain it, and sometimes that will click for a student and then they're able to make the correction in a more efficient way because it was said to them in a different way. I don't know. It's really interesting, I think, just how people hear corrections given to them or feedback that they get and how they interpret it based on who's saying it. So
yeah, and I think that I have had so many music teachers in my life, and each one of them has brought a special thing to my playing, sure. and a special, place in my learning too.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
All right. Well, today we're going to get into some dance stuff.
Yes.
Last time was the music episode. Now we're going to be talking about something that I will be excited to learn about.
Yeah.
Preschool dance program, the Avalon preschool dance program.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. You might have to cut me off at some point because I might just keep going on and on because I'm very, very passionate about this subject. I think that a lot of times there can be a misconception that like what we're doing in a preschool dance class is just babysitting, or we're just letting them run around in tutus for half an hour or 50 minutes or however long the class is. But there's actually a lot going on in those classes and a lot of intention with what we do with the kids from week to week that is so beneficial to them that I just get really excited about it because you can do so many things with preschoolers. They're very uninhibited and non-judgmental, and they'll try anything. So, yeah.
All right. Well, hey, let's dive in.
Yeah, let's dive in.
Head first. No even putting in our toes to see if the water's cold. We're just going to jump right in.
We're just going to go for it. Let's do it. Yeah.
So, at what age can children start dance classes at Avalon? And is there a best age to start?
Well, I think that the best age to start is any age because it's really never too late to learn how to dance. And children who are very young can also start to lay a foundation for a proper dance education. So we take dance students as young as 2 years old at Avalon, but each child is different, and some 2-year-olds are not ready yet for dance class. They might need to... they have a little more attachment, with their parents. They're not ready to leave them yet. Some kids are ready when they're 3, some kids 4, and some even a little older than that. So I think recognizing that each child is different and working with them to find the best time for them to start is really going to set them up for success. So some kids, like I said, are ready when they're 2. That's as young as we take them. And some need to just be a little bit older.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. And I guess the same could be true for music lessons too, is that I stress to parents and families that each child is at their own developmental point, and also each one of them will progress in their own way.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Accurate.
So preschoolers.
Yes.
Do they have to be potty trained before joining dance class?
So a lot of times, a lot of dance studios will have that as a benchmark of readiness to start a dance class, but we don't, because potty training is a really complex, stage of development for children, that we don't exclude kids who are not potty trained from participating in dance class. So sometimes I've heard some parents use it as an incentive to get their child to get potty trained, like when you're potty trained, we can start dance class. So kind of motivating them in that way. But truly, if you just put your child in a pull-up and then send them into class, there really is no issue with that either. So kids can be ready to be potty trained later than they are actually ready to participate in a dance class. So.
Yes, and I think too, the whole idea of just making sure that you go to the bathroom before dance class, which, that's kind of the same rule at the recital too, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I always make a big deal out of that for sure.
So at those young ages, like 2 and 3, what should parents' expectations and goals be for that dance class?
So that's a really important question to ask because it's important that parents are balancing their expectations for their child's participation in class with what the class has to offer, as well as what their child's developmental stage is. So from our perspective, at this young age, and at these young stages of development, the goal is to foster a love of movement and music and to establish independence. So being able to leave a parent or caregiver and walk into a class, have an experience, with independently of their parent, that alone is a big accomplishment for little ones. Some 2-year-olds just straight out the gate, they go in and they do that, and it's not a big deal for them, but other ones, it takes a little while for them to get used to doing that. And it's a big accomplishment regardless of if it takes them, several weeks to get there or if they can do that right away. But once they're in class, they're engaged in the activities that we're doing in class. They're learning to love the movement and listening to the music and responding to it. That is just really what the goal is at that point. We're not teaching them to be prima ballerinas. It's about creating positive associations with the activities and with the experience of going to dance class. So for parents, it's really important for them to have a positive outlook and express a lot of confidence in their little ones about dance class and telling them, dance class is fun, you're going to have so much fun, and I'll be here watching you, and I'll give you a hug when class is over. And that's the best way to set them up for success for going into class.
That's really cool. And I think that there are a lot of parallels there too with the music program. When we were talking earlier about me subbing today, I had a 6-year-old, and it was on piano, the same sort of a situation where there's independence, there's fun involved. At the end, there's that sense of accomplishment, and then with the parent reinforcement at the end too was just a really wonderful positive experience.
Yeah, exactly. Creating positive associations with going to class.
So I guess that gets us into this next idea of why is participating in a dance class beneficial for a child's development?
So this is, I literally could go on for an hour just on this. So I'm going to try to simplify some bullet points for the enormous number of benefits that a dance class can have for a child's development. So in the first 5 years of a child's life, those 5 years are crucial for brain development. Children are like sponges. Their brains are developing and absorbing information. They're learning so much in those first 5 years. And so having a variety of stimulating and age-appropriate experiences for those little ones to stimulate their senses is crucial. So dance class checks a lot of the boxes that you need. So for sensory development, we're hearing different music. We're feeling the weight of different props in our hands, like a beanbag is heavy and a scarf is light. Our depth perception, looking in a mirror, a lot of times little ones don't have a lot of experience looking in a mirror, and all of our dance classrooms have mirrors. So seeing yourself in a mirror, being able to walk towards yourself in a way, those are all sensory experiences that help their brains to develop and help them to understand the world around them, where they are in space, their body awareness, seeing other children around them and avoiding running into them, very important. So, and as far as their physical development, children gain strength and flexibility, coordination, and balance. They're all improved in the exercises we do in class, as well as fine and gross motor skills. So your gross motor skills are like jumping and running and hopping. And then those fine motor skills are picking up small items with your fingers. And we do a lot of big body movements, but also small body movements in dance class. I think it can't be underestimated how important the social skills are to learn in these first 5 years. That really, in a lot of ways, can help kids when they make the transition to going to preschool or kindergarten, so that they already know how to interact with other children. It's a great way to understand social rules. Don't poke each other in the eye. We're going to keep our hands to ourselves. Being kind to one another, making friends, having boundaries. We spend a lot of time on teaching kids how to wait their turn and stand in line. And that is really hard because they get excited. When we're doing an obstacle course, they all just want to go, go, go. But learning, it's not my turn, it is her turn. And allowing them some wiggle room in there to understand those boundaries is really, really helpful. And it's great to see from week 1 of class to the end of the year how they really do understand those concepts a lot better. So Some of the other benefits are like there's a lot of cognitive development that goes on in a dance class, cause and effect, and problem solving. And our preschool dance classes do participate in our dance recital too. So learning how to memorize choreography, a sequence of events in your movement, and then being able to recreate that on stage, that's huge. That's a big deal, and that's really good for their brains too. And then one thing we really love is using imaginative play and abstract thinking in our classes. So doing animal walks and how does this animal move and what sound do they make? And preschoolers have no vanity about themselves, right? They will do whatever you ask them to do in a creative way, and they'll all put their own little spin on it. It's really fascinating to see their little brains work. Like one person might want to be, if we're doing like our cat stretches, they might want to meow one way and another one meows another way. So It's just interesting to see how every kid will put a different spin on what they imagine a cat to be like, for example. So one of the ways that kids develop a lot in those first 5 years too is also in their verbal skills. And a lot of our 2-year-olds come into their first 2-year-old class and maybe they're just starting to talk in sentences, or they only are used to speaking to adults who are their parent or their grandparent or another caregiver. They may not have experience talking to other children. Some of the most precious moments are hearing the little conversations between preschoolers in class. It's really cute to hear them ask each other their name or, anything like that. And being able to express themselves verbally is something that really exponentially grows within those first few years. Mm-hmm. And then another area where we see a lot of development in the kids in dance class is also in their emotional growth. So being, like I said before, like being able to leave a caregiver and to be brave and to do that when maybe they're a little nervous about it, sure. But also, for children, little inconveniences can have very big feelings for them. So like maybe we were picking out scarves and they didn't get the color scarf they wanted. And that's a real disappointment for them. So being able to talk them through that and work through it and be like, oh, we'll get it next time, or, however we want to process that, but they learn how to move on, right? Oh, I didn't like that this happened, that I didn't get the scarf I wanted, but I'm going to choose to now engage in this activity and I'm moving on. So it teaches a little resilience, and it's just a really great way to build that confidence and self-esteem in children too in dance class. So as far as getting ready for school, like school readiness too, learning just the structure of a class is super helpful for when kids do make that transition to school. So they learn that there's another adult that they need to listen to follow rules. They learn to stay in one spot when they're asked to. So like when we put our little poly spots on the floor and we ask them to stand in their spots so we can do our pliés or our tendus, they have some understanding then of this is my time to explore my space, or this is my time to stay in this space because I was asked to, and we're going to do this activity here. So it's a really great way to foster focus and discipline in a really positive way. And most importantly, of course, dance is fun. So that's just another benefit, is that they come to class and they have a really good time. And when kids are having fun, then they're open to learn. So.
That's awesome, and that's really interesting because I guess it takes it to a whole nother level when you start then thinking of, there's the activity, but then there's also all the process of the activity too.
Right.
Now, I don't remember when I was young and growing up that we used this word, but the word that comes to me is rubric.
Oh.
Rubric, like a template, if you will, that then you can take, and once you've developed that, you can then put that into different areas of your life.
Sure.
Whether you're young or whether you're an adult.
Okay.
So, the whole process part of it is really interesting to me.
Sure. Yep. for sure.
And I guess getting to that,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the benefits for parents for taking their child to dance class every week?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, dance class is great for kids, but it's also great for adults for a lot of reasons. Having a weekly commitment, something that's on the calendar, that's predictable, and that you have to look forward to every week is something that can be positive, both for structuring your week, but also just having something to look forward to that you do together. We have a lot of kids who have like a special person who brings them to their dance class every week. Because I'm thinking of one little girl in particular who her grandpa always brings her. That's their special thing. They go to dance class together, and then they have some special one-on-one time together. But I mean, that could be true of, any parent caregiver situation too. Maybe little brother comes and watches through the window and sees his sister participating too. And, there's just a lot of different ways in which it can be a positive experience for a family. But also, it's really nice for parents to get to have a way to communicate and connect with other parents. So a lot of times, especially parents of preschoolers can feel a little isolated, especially if a caregiver is at home all day with their children and maybe doesn't have a big social network. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking of one family in particular that just came to the studio and joined 2 weeks ago. They just moved here, and they specifically said, we want to get involved at a studio and with activities with our daughter because we don't know anybody here. Our family doesn't live here. And I just thought that was really lovely and really a good thought on their part to be like, okay, let's go meet some other parents. Let's do that. Every year at the recital, we have seniors who are graduating whose families became very close friends in the Avalon waiting room when their kids were preschoolers. And It's really beautiful to see those friendships develop over the years, and not just between the dancers, but between their entire families. So it's really lovely.
Yeah, I think it's a very special, almost like a cross product, of our school, is that we can be a landing zone for all of those different relationships. And I have noticed the same thing. And I think it's really wonderful when not only the kids get to be friends, but the parents get to be friends and the families get to be friends too.
Absolutely.
So I guess as far as options go, what type of classes does Avalon offer for preschoolers?
Yeah, so we divide our classes by age group. So our Dance for 2-year-olds class is 30 minutes long. It's for 2 to 3-year-olds. So if a 3-year-old is taking their first dance class or they're a little on the younger end, this is a great place to start. And for 2-year-olds, this would be the class that they would start in. So it's mostly creative movement, musical awareness, introduction to ballet, if the kids are receptive to it. And it's really fast-paced, and it's structured for the 2-year-old attention span, which is you change activities every 2 to 4 minutes. Mm-hmm. So we cover a lot of ground. We do a lot within those 30 minutes, but it is geared towards their attention span. So when kids move up to the 3 to 4-year-old classes, they have a choice of either doing a ballet and acrobatics combo class or a ballet and tap combo class. And so in the combo classes, they spend 25 minutes of each type of dance for a total of 50-minute long class. So the ballet portion includes creative movement, introduction to ballet. And then the tap, if it's a tap combo, the tap portion, introduces tap technique, but also a lot with rhythm and gross motor and fine motor coordination. And in the acrobatics combo class, they get an age-appropriate introduction to acrobatics. And then we usually get to do an obstacle course too, which everybody loves. Yeah. And then in our 4 to 6-year-old age group, that's we call those our kinder combos. So it's either a kinder ballet and acrobatics combo or kinder ballet and tap. And it follows the same structure that I just described for the 3 to 4-year-olds, but with a little more advanced skill experience for slightly older dancers and for their stage of development.
That's cool. So a lot of options.
There are a lot of options, and we have preschool combo classes every day of the week, I think almost every day of the week. So we offer classes in the morning, we have Saturday classes, and we have evening classes and afternoon classes as well. So it really there's something for every family to fit their schedule.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
So with all those classes, what is the training and qualifications for the Avalon preschool instructors?
Yeah, so this is something I'm extremely proud of. Our teaching faculty for our preschoolers is exceptional. They really are truly wonderful professionals, and all of our teachers who teach preschoolers at Avalon have extensive teaching experience. And currently, everybody who's teaching preschoolers has been teaching at Avalon for a minimum of 7 years, and some longer than that. For all of our acro combo classes, those teachers get an additional certification from Acrobatic Arts. Acrobatic Arts is an internationally recognized organization for acro dance teacher certification. So all of our acrobatics teachers get Acrobatic Arts certified. So for safety and for making sure that they're, teaching acrobatics properly. And for ballet and creative movement, we use a lot of a program called Discover Dance curriculum, which is really wonderful, developmentally grounded, research-based curriculum that is really fabulous. And we have a lot of resources for our preschool teachers, lots of different areas of curriculum we pull from. And then we also give those preschool teachers the freedom to craft their lesson plans for the needs of their students. So even within one teacher, in different classes of the same age group she might teach, she might do the activities a little bit differently because these teachers are so good, they can see what the kids need. So they have a lot of freedom to adapt to the students so that everybody's always learning.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, if you think that your child isn't ready for one of these things, not quite ready for dance class, do we offer any options for families of preschoolers?
Yes. So we're really fortunate. We have Rebecca Weirks, who is the teacher of Music and Me, which is a music class that is for caregivers and children to do together. So that is a great option. If kids aren't quite ready to be independent in class by themselves, they can go and take a class with a caregiver and have a wonderful experience with Rebecca. And I think we should do a whole separate episode on her program because it's truly fabulous.
And so that Music and Me class is about music and movement too, right?
It's primarily a music class, but there's movement, a movement experience to it as well. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Rebecca has different instruments she brings in. They sing, they move. So yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, that would be great for a future episode.
For sure.
But I think we've learned a lot today.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
Thank you. And being listening, it's definitely evident how passionate you are about this, how much you care about it, and how much you've thought through a lot of the things that we do here.
Yeah.
Which
everything has a reason. And I say this at recital time too. It's even if you don't know what the reason is, I promise we have a reason for it. All the activities have a purpose. And, when we started Avalon 20 years ago, we started with mostly just preschoolers because we were a brand new studio. We were just starting out and we had our young families that were coming to us for kinder music and for dance. And so pretty early on, we got pretty well established in getting good at teaching little kids how to dance and how to participate in class. And so I feel like every year it grows. And as new teachers join our school too, they bring new knowledge that we share with one another. So everybody's really supportive of each other, and because we just want to give kids the best experience possible.
Well, thank you. I have had a wonderful time.
You're welcome.
And thanks to everybody for listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you next time. Avalon offers dance classes, music lessons, and theater classes 6 days a week. With over 40 teachers, we have something for kids and adults and everyone in between. You can reach the dance and theater department at avalonschoolofthearts.com and the music department at avalonmusicacademyofholland.com.
Where dreams begin is in that magical space within. When your heart and your mind and your soul intertwine in wonder, that's where dreams begin.